Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of ParentTown TV. Today we're going to be talking about starting solids and how to introduce your baby to the first food. We have with us Sylvia Kang, who is a nutritionist, and she's also the founder of Mothers Love Nutrition Consultancy. And she's going to be talking and answering all of your questions on both mommy nutrition as well as baby nutrition and how to start solids. And we have, of course, baby Shan here, who's going to be doing a live demo of starting solids. Sylvia, tell me a little bit about yourself. Why did you get into nutrition?
I was very interested in food. Since I was young, I was very interested with cooking.
Okay.
So nutrition and food science was something that I had in mind after I finished my diploma. So I did a degree in food science and nutrition in Australia, and that's how I started my career as a nutritionist.
Okay. And how long have you been in nutrition or focused on nutrition?
All focused on nutrition more than 10 years. I used to be working in the public sector in a government body, and then I was with an MNC for about 8 years or so, all dealing with mothers and health and nutrition and babies.
Interesting. So why the fascination with mother's health and baby's health?
I think it's also because of the growth I have, my promotion, mainly to be a mummy. Yeah, with the knowledge that I have, I was really interested to find out a bit more,
Hi, you want to join the conversation? Yeah, sorry.
To know more about how can I feed my child better, what are some of the nutrition know-hows, that mummy should know ever since the baby is born. So a lot of things interest me, and I find that this is something for me for the rest of my life, I think.
So you have 3 children?
Yes, I do.
What are their ages?
So Nathan is 7, so he's primary 1 this year. Faith is 4.5, and my last one, Kayleen, she's 1.5.
Wow. So 3 children and an entrepreneur mommy. I feel like I need to invite you for another session just to talk about how you balance work and life.
Oh, I mean, I look all tidy up now. At home I look pretty messy. But yeah, with each edition, you learn a bit more, and you know how to manage the baby better. So it gets easier, I guess. Yeah.
So did you start solids with each one of them at the 6-month mark, or?
Around there, my first child Nathan was a bit faster in terms of the milestone development, so I started in about 5 weeks and almost a week shy of 6 months.
Okay.
And the 2 other girls, I started about 6 months, and my last baby, she was a bit slower, so I started her 6 months and 1 week. So it's almost around the 6-month period.
Okay, so that it's not like die must do 6 months.
No, for sure. There are many different schools of thought. Some doctors might recommend after 4 months. Some would really recommend 6 months. My recommendation is really about 6 months, because we do know that breastfeeding and breast milk is best for baby for 0 to 6 months, and breast milk has really the most appropriate nutrition for baby for the first 6 months of baby's life, and after that your baby need to be supplemented with complementary food. Yeah.
So Shan here is exactly 6 months today.
Yay.
So you're ready to start your solid journey.
Yeah.
Sorry for waking you up from your
we're
nap.
talking too much.
Okay. So we're going to ask you some of the questions from our moms. So the first question that we have in is, how many times a day should my baby be having solids?
It really depends on the age of the baby. For Shan's age, for the first 1 to 2 weeks, she should be really having a small little bowl or a few spoonful, and then gradually, maybe at the 3rd week onward, after the cereal, after she has already taken to the cereal, she can finish the portion well. Then you can increase the portion to 1 more serve in a day. Usually, I would really recommend starting in the morning, right after the shower, in between the milk break, in between the milk feeds. So usually, if the baby wakes up around 7 or 6:30 or 8, the baby has the formula. She play with the baby, have the shower, the normal routine, and around right about 10, just before the next milk feed, you can try your cereal. Choose a time where baby is happy, when baby is in a relaxed mood and not hungry, so the baby is more likely to accept the new food.
Okay, so maybe since she's getting a little bit uncomfortable, why don't we do the live demo first,
Sure.
and then we'll get back to the mummy's questions.
Sure.
How do you feel about that, Shan? Yeah, you're excited. So what are the signs? Does she look like she's ready for solids?
I think so. You can see that she can support her neck very well. She's a very well not supported seater, so she doesn't need any support. She doesn't lean back and she doesn't wobble. She can support her neck very well. She can grab something well, as she was holding my fingers pretty tight earlier. Okay, auntie will talk faster, okay? And
okay.
Yeah. And I think she's already 6 months, so it's a good time to try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So Shan, this is your first time having cereal.
Yay.
So we're gonna see how Auntie Sylvia starts preparing it.
Okay. So first, other than doing the milestone check. Okay. Maybe she's a bit hungry. Let's see. I'm just gonna try with water first.
Okay.
A lot of babies at this point of time, if I don't know your baby well, I just want to test whether she still has the tongue thrust reflex.
How does it feel like to have water?
What do you think? So
Would
this
you
is
like
really
more?
made. She's sucking on the spoon, which is a good sign. She doesn't push out her tongue. So this reflex is actually a very natural reflex for babies that are still not yet there. Okay, you want a bit more? Okay. Let's see.
Wow.
Okay. Oopsie.
It was today a hot day.
Okay. So if you see that the baby has got a very painful expression on her, looking like she's not enjoying the food at all, it's actually her experiencing the texture and the taste for the first time. Okay.
Are you hungry? Would you like
think
more food?
Okay.
Would you like your teddy bear?
Let's talk more food then.
Okay, so maybe you can walk us through what you're exactly doing.
Okay, when you prepare a cereal, I choose iron. You have to choose the iron fortified cereal, because baby stores at this point of time, the stores in the body is depleting, and if you're still breastfeeding your baby, your iron maternal stores is also depleting. So it's best that you choose an iron fortified rice cereal.
Are all rice cereals iron fortified?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of cereals are not iron fortified, even though it's organic, no sugar added, no preservatives, no coloring, no nothing, but there's no iron. So it's actually quite important to have iron. So it's good that you just try a little bit to taste the texture. Your baby doesn't need.
You've taken about 1 spoon?
Yes, 1 teaspoon, about 1 teaspoon.
So 1 teaspoon of cereal.
Yes. If you're using breast milk, that would be ideal. You can use mummy's milk, which is the best. Just take note that if you're still using your breast milk, the breast milk has got natural enzymes and it will break down the cereal quite quickly. So you get watery as you feed, so don't worry about that. You can put your little bowl in a bowl of warm water, warm it up again and add a little bit more rice to get the texture that your baby wants.
So if I don't have mummy's milk or formula milk available, can I use water?
Ideally, you should try to use formula or your mummy's milk. You need the milk. You need the dairy in your baby's diet.
Okay.
When you're starting solid foods, a lot of us say that loosely use the term weaning. It's actually not really weaning. It's really introducing complementary food. Breast milk would be still your baby's main source of nutrition, and should be still taking still giving the baby the main source of nutrition.
Okay.
So solid food are actually complementary. Okay, I'm just trying to get a texture that is watery. You can see the droplets. It's not supposed to be thick. If it's too thick, your baby would just hold it in her mouth and not being able to swallow. Just imagine only having a liquid diet for the last 6 months. So she really needs to learn how to swallow first. Yeah. So, come baby Shan. Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that. How do you feel about it?
I've fed quite a couple of babies, and they usually have the same expression. They'll squint their eyes and they'll be tasting, and some of them will frown. So it's actually normal. It's not that the baby hates the taste. It's just them tasting the cereal. Okay? Yeah. You want to self-feed already? You are fast. Yeah. I talked about the tongue protrusion effect just now, where she thrusts out her tongue. That doesn't mean that the baby doesn't like the cereal and that she's trying to push out the cereal. It just means that it's a natural suckling effect that the baby hasn't outgrown yet. So it will gradually disappear as she takes to the spoon gradually. Yeah. Oh no. Okay, a little bit more. What do you think?
So how many spoons should we be aiming for?
You can see I had it's about a teaspoon and a half here. If she's willing, I think she's a bit tired because she was
Just
awakened from
woken
her
her
nap.
nap.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job.
If she's in a happy mood, I'm sure she'll be able to finish it because she's doing very well. You see, she's opening her mouth. She knows the cue. She probably must have been looking at mommy eating her breakfast or lunch and wishing for a spoonful of what mommy is having. So she's getting her wish. Yummy. So for the first 3 days, I would just recommend a small little portion like this.
Okay. So do I do it 3 times a day or do I do it?
No, you just do it once a day
once
first. Yeah. So when baby can finish, the portion fairly quickly, you can increase the amount to 2, 3, and 4 and 5 spoons until baby can finish the whole portion. So I would recommend single ingredient, single grain for sure. Oats, rice, brown rice. The reason why rice-based or starch-based is because it's gentle for baby to digest because their digestive system is not 100% developed yet. So we need something very gentle and not hypoallergenic and something hypoallergenic, something that's gentle for baby. You want a bit more? Okay.
So how can you tell when they're not interested?
She will turn her head away. When they're a little bit older, she will tend to turn her head away. She will start crying. Yeah. So she's doing very well. Yum yum. Okay.
Are we done for today?
Are you done? You want a bit more? Maybe we can give her a little bit of water. So a lot of mummies also ask this question: when do I feed my baby water? Right about 6 months, where you can, when you're introducing solids to your baby, a little water would do her good too.
And is it okay if baby wants to grab the food and feel the food?
Yeah, I think that's fine too, as long as baby doesn't put the food in her mouth, or if the chunk is too big, something that's not suitable for her to swallow at this point of time. For me, I choose a safe way. I choose something that is very close to the texture of mommy's milk first. Baby needs to learn how to swallow, needs to learn the motor skill first before we gradually increase the texture. Textures or solid or finger food can start at a later stage, maybe from 9 months and above, where baby is more confident with eating. That will really be safer, so that we don't have to deal with any gagging or choking.
Fantastic.
Okay,
so maybe we should go into answering the questions from the moms.
Sure.
Could we just
need help?
Yes. Say bye to the camera, Shan.
Bye bye.
Say bye. Okay, and we're going to hand you over.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you. So back to the questions from the moms. You say that you should start off with cereals, but a lot of theories recommend starting off with fruits or vegetables.
Yes.
So which is the right method?
Well, for me, there are many different schools of thoughts for sure. For me, rice is better because rice is very gentle, and as in an Asian country context, I think it's very rare to be allergic to rice. Rice is also gentle for the tummy to digest, and rice is also a very good medium for fortification. Baby doesn't have to take an entire bowl full just to get the amount of iron that the baby needs in a day. And also because of the flexibility in terms of the cereal, it's easy to bring it out. It's easy for mommy to prepare. So as compared to fruit or vegetable purees, it will be a little bit more difficult for if mommy's mobile or if the baby wants to go out to a park. It's a little bit more difficult. I'm not saying that we should stop or we should not even try fruits or vegetable, but I'm saying that the first few spoonfuls for me it would be rice, because rice is really a staple, and rice provides the baby the energy that the baby needs to grow, to sit out, to run, to play. So energy is very important. A lot of mummies do start with mashed bananas, papayas, and for me that would be not as ideal. For me, after the rice, I will start off immediately with some vegetables. as yucky as possible ones. I started my baby with spinach, asparagus, zucchinis, avocados. Anything that tastes bland or tastes not very sweet, I will give to baby first. The reason why is because if you feed baby bananas or papaya, they will really be very accustomed to the sweet taste in the natural food, and they will tend to reject any other plain tasting food from then forward. So it's gonna get tough for you to feed. So if you feed bananas first, I think you're gonna get a harder time introducing vegetables like spinach or asparagus to baby.
What about vegetables that we should avoid? Are there any first vegetables that we should not be taking, like cabbage or broccoli, or is everything okay?
I think everything should be okay. Anything that is milder in taste, of course, you will not choose things like celery for first food because it's very strong in taste. You want baby to be transiting slowly into solid food. So things like spinach is ideal because spinach contains iron as well. Spinach or even broccoli, that's fine. But broccoli is a little bit more difficult to prepare because you need to put it through a strainer, and you need to steam it properly. So I do recommend leafy vegetables first. It's easier for mommy to prepare. And after that, you can start introducing pumpkin. Pumpkin is also a little bit milder in taste. You can try also potatoes, sweet potatoes, anything that is a bit mild in taste. And then you can move on to the sweet tasting ones like bananas. For sure, your baby will enjoy anything that is sweet because it's natural. It's natural for baby to like anything sweet, so you'll not worry about baby rejecting a papaya or some banana. Yeah.
Okay, and when can you introduce meat?
You can introduce meat after the first few weeks after your baby's weaning. In fact, after babies can feed well on rice cereal, you can mash some meat into or put it through a strainer, and you can put it in baby's rice and feed it together.
So would you say, so the first 3 days you start off with cereal, and then you move on to vegetables like spinach and asparagus,
Yes.
zucchinis, avocados.
Yes.
And then when do you move to fruits? After how many weeks?
You see, every single new food, you have about a 3 days gap. Leave it 3 days gap just in case baby is not doing well on a certain kind of fruit or vegetable. You'll be able to tell. So after 3 days, you can introduce the next vegetable. So I would say baby should be able to experience his or her first meat or poultry or fish dish by the time they turn about 7 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's about 1 month later for meat.
Yeah.
So if we had to really put it in a timeline, so it would be cereal, vegetables for about a week to 2 weeks.
In fact,
and then
after
fruits.
vegetable, you can put the meat already. So baby is taking well to rice, taking well to broccoli, for example. The next thing you might want to add would be broccoli and meat together, so that baby is really accustomed to the taste of...
So meat before fruits.
I would say there's no hard and fast rules. Depending on what you're feeding baby during, perhaps you are looking at dinner time or lunchtime, it would be more ideal for something savory. Just like the family meal. If you're feeding baby for breakfast, you can have something a bit sweeter on the sweeter side, maybe the pumpkin. And then if you're having lunch, you can have broccoli, you can have steamed fish, and then put it through a mash and things like that.
And do we still continue breastfeeding while we're going through this journey?
For sure. You might find that baby has a little bit of reduced appetite, for your milk, but gradually as they grow, as the calorie intake increases, they will still make up for it. Yeah.
And when do we start going on to 3 meals a day?
I would say by the time baby turns 8 months, 9 months, it is really dependent on the baby itself. Some babies, for example, my firstborn, he's really fast. I got him on 3 meals at about close to about 9 months, whereas my 2 other girls after 10 months, because he could finish everything. He's like a good appetite. He finished everything I prepared, and he will still look for more. Whereas the girls, maybe a bit daintier, I guess. I don't know. I took longer to feed them. So yeah.
And how much food should we be giving at the first solid feed?
The first solid feed I mentioned earlier, 1 teaspoon of your rice cereal, iron fortified rice cereal.
But if baby is willing to take more, should we just keep giving more?
If baby is accepting the spoon well, then yes. If you find that baby is still pushing the spoon out, finding that struggling to finish, then maybe not. Yeah.
And
Usually it takes about a week.
Sorry, how do you know when baby is full?
Baby will give you some cues. Baby will try to turn the head away, or baby will start fussing or start crying. That means that she's had enough. So I'm sure all mummies can read the cues by now. That by 6 months, mummy will be able to tell.
Okay, and I want to give my baby a slice of steak. Even though he has no teeth, I assume he can chew it and get the nutrition from the juice. Is it okay to give my 6-month-old grilled meat?
If your baby has already taken basic food like his staple, the rice and the cereals and whatnot, sure, but not a slice or not a strip. Your baby will not be able to chew, obviously, because baby doesn't have teeth. But you can put it through a strainer, make sure that the texture is fine, and add it into the cereal.
And what about local food like durian? Can we start feeding baby durian, and what's the appropriate age for that?
Local food, durian is very sweet. So I would recommend that maybe you put it on almost at the end of your list. If baby wants to try whatever that you're having, your baby is welcome to do that. After baby has established, you think that baby is comfortable with normal solid meals already, then you can try something that is a bit on the adventurous side.
And so there are some food that are complete no-nos, either they're on the choking list or things like honey. If a mother wants to experiment with things like that, when can she start experimenting with honey?
Honey is not appropriate because we're talking about raw honey here, right from the jar. If you notice there's some cereals in the market that contains honey, those are fine because it's already been heat processed.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to try raw honey, I would say at least after 8 months, when baby is really established with eating rice confidently, eating vegetables confidently. To me, sweet stuff always goes to the back of the list. Any no-nos, I would say things that are very difficult to strain, like raspberries, things that have got small little seeds that when you put through a strainer, you will still find some seeds that goes through that have very fine seeds. So raspberry, maybe you can wait until maybe 9 months and above. Other than that, I think most foods should be fine. Yeah.
Now, if a mom is a working mom and she doesn't have time to prepare a lot of food, how can she do batch cooking, or how can she should she just be then giving packet foods?
If you are a working mom, yes, batch cooking is a very good idea. You just buy a ice cube tray, some ice cube tray that is bigger. You just prepare a batch, put it in the freezer, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then you can keep it for a month or so, less than a month or so, and then whenever baby needs, you can just defrost. But if you have time, or if you have a helper, most mummies in Singapore have a helper, try to have a fresh serve every single time. And because after the freezing process and after the thawing process, there's some nutrient lost, and for me, I don't like that. I like to give baby the fresh taste, the fresh food, the fresh fruits that I prepare every day.
How about the jar food?
I would say jar food are my saviors during traveling, especially when I'm on the go. So jar food is okay. If you look at the bottle itself, read the label. Is there any added sugar? What are some preservatives? Are there any colorings that are added to it? Any added salt? If you find everything that are nasty is not in the bottle, then just go ahead and try it. And of course, if baby is still young, you have to find a jar food that's suitable for baby, single fruits or single grain, things that suitable for baby. For example, some might have a mix of banana and strawberry, and baby has not had strawberry before, so it's better not to have a mixture of flavors for a young baby. Yeah.
Okay, and so the final question for today: if a mom is heading out, should she be skipping the meal altogether, or should she then be substituting for cereals or packed food or jar food?
I'm a very mobile mom, so I bring my barangs everywhere. I bring my cereals and my food everywhere. You can see there are equipment like this. You can put put a spoon in, sterilize properly. A small little bowl like this, it doesn't really take much space, and you can even put your cereal in a small little container like this, or small little Tupperware like this. And then if you have formula, or if you're still expressing, bring a little bit of your express breast milk, just 30 ml to 60 ml, that will be enough. It doesn't really take much space. Things like that would be very ideal. You see, it has a spoon all tucked in, and there is, if I don't know whether you can see it, there's a texture here. There's some indentation or some texture here where you can rub your cereal or your spoon against it to make sure your puree is smooth. And you know, it's very nifty. You can even pack some of the cereals inside the bowl, and then you're good to go. Yeah.
And so I noticed you have a lot of different equipments here. Maybe we can have a look at some of these things, like so many different types of spoons. I feel overwhelmed already. So as a mom, what am I supposed to pick? I mean, a spoon's a spoon, right?
Yeah, I'm a spoon hoarder maybe. Okay. No, I pick a few spoons. I want to show the no-nos and the ideal ones for a 6-month-old younger baby. For me, this is the ideal spoon. And because,
what makes it so special?
Yes, because you can see it's made of silicone. It's very easily bent, and it's very malleable. It's soft. It's very easy and soft on the baby's gums. Sometimes when baby are still young, you know, they might move when you're feeding, and you don't want something too hard or too tough to rub against baby's gum. So this is ideal for me. It comes with a container that keep it clean. That's ideal. And things like this will be ideal for 7-8 months baby onwards, because it's wider. It's also very malleable, but this will not be suitable for a toddler, somebody who's maybe 10 months and above, because these babies tend to bite, and it's not firm enough at 10 months onwards. And the no-no ones would be something like this at a young age for Shan. This is too wide, and of course it's metal. It's going to be tough and not nice in baby's lips at all. And this is not no because it's not a good one. It's because it's not suitable for baby's age, because this is too wide. You can see baby's lips, baby's mouth are so small at this stage. If you choose something that's so wide, you'll find it that, you know, a lot of cereal gets stuck and doesn't fit into baby's mouth. This one will be something ideal. It comes from together with a Tupperware. I didn't bring a Tupperware today. I mean a baby food container. This actually changes temperature if your water is too hot. So it really tells the mummy whether the temperature is too hot for baby.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, so this is one nifty one to get. And when baby gets older, you can have something firmer, something like this. Something that also can fit in a container like this, that would be easy for mummies to bring out on the go. So there are really many kinds of spoon, and this one I would say really for a 1-year-old and above, where baby can start to feel and learn how to self-feed 1-year-old or 1 year and a half. It really depends on baby's milestone and baby speed. So there are some of the few spoons that I've collected over my 3 babies.
Wonderful. Okay, this is really good tips for our moms. Thank you, parents, for joining us with today's episode of ParentTown TV, and thank you, Sylvia, for joining us and answering all of our parents' questions. Do you have any final words of advice for our parents?
Yes, I would say that weaning is a memorable milestone for mummy and baby. And I would say I will ask parents to be open-minded, to be prepared and ready for some mess, and open-minded in the sense of getting used to baby's expressions or frowns in the first few feeds. Doesn't mean that baby doesn't like it, it's just that baby is trying to get used to the taste. So don't worry, and you'll do great.
Great advice! And thank you for tuning in again. Looking forward to seeing you at next week's episode.